Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here once again to review Jackass Forever. Now, here, first off, a history about the series in terms of my opinions on all the different entries, including the spin offs and the other things. I don't know what to call them because I don't really know much about this stuff, this Jackass thing, uh, except for what I've seen. And so last year I watched the first one because I was actually planning on watching all of them in preparation for this movie. I was planning on like just watching them for fun and not even reviewing them. I didn't like the first one at all. I thought that there were just definitely some funny segments, but overall, I really did not like it. I thought it was so gross. It just made me want to throw up. It, you know, it's tough too because when you don't when you want to throw up, it's hard to continue watching something like it's a movie, and so I ended up fast forwarding through a lot of the segments, except the ones that I thought were funny, and not to say that like I'm totally against any type of humor. Like I'm fine with any type of humor, even if people call it quote unquote harmful. I love all different types of comedy. It's just it didn't really work for me at all. It seemed like honestly like if there was a YouTube channel called Jackass and then like they had a bunch of little short like 1 minute videos that were like all viral videos on YouTube. Like that's what it reminded me of. Like I've seen so many YouTube videos over the years and so many of them were like this whole movie. Like I saw this one channel which I don't watch anymore at all. They're an eating channel and they did a video where they ate the whole KFC menu and they started throwing up in the KFC bucket and they had to delete it eventually and but that's what it reminded me of was that type of humor, and it really didn't work for me though, and I really I did not like the first one at all, and so after that I just did not watch any others. But before that I actually watched the Bad Grandpa one, and for some reason because I thought the trailer looked good, and I didn't really know or care about the association to Jackass, and I kind of liked that movie. I kind of did. It kind of fell apart near the end, and but still it was fine. It was fine. Like it I like this type of humor kinda, but it really doesn't work for an hour and 40 minutes to me for a movie's runtime. That's the issue with it for me, is that that's why I like stories. I like to have a story. I like to have characters. I don't just like to see like joke, 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 end. And in particular, this one, the fourth one, it had kind of a story. If you really like if you kind of feel the emotion underneath what's going on, you can kind of get a loose story out of it, which is why I think that this is the best Jackass film that I've seen so far. Obviously, I still need to see 2, 3, the spin offs, all that other crap. I never watched the show. I didn't even know there was a show until like last year. I thought, wait a second, Jackass was based on a show? In fact, oh wait, I forgot to mention my favorite Jackass thing ever isn't even officially a Jackass thing. There was this really great YouTube show, which I can't remember what it was called, but they took all the slasher characters like Freddy, Michael, Jason, Jigsaw, and they made like little YouTube videos where they would do like funny Jackass type of stunts, and one of them was like they were playing Twister with thumbtacks, and that was really really funny. And I love that channel. I really wish I could remember what that channel was called. But this movie, this the fourth one, the Jackass Forever, it is definitely the best thing that I've seen in relation to the series. It started off, and immediately there were laughs, and I was like, "Wait a second, I'm laughing." Like it with the first one, I laughed, and then there would be like a 30-minute break, and then I'd laugh like again, but with this one, I was laughing throughout the entire movie, except for like a little. There was this middle part, this middle chunk where I wasn't laughing, and I was kind of like scratching my head and thinking like, "Oh no, is this gonna turn out bad?" But thankfully, excuse me. Thankfully, it did not turn out bad and fall apart. I actually think that this was a pretty damn good movie. It was funny. It was, somewhat emotional toward the end. But I don't know. I mean, it's really weird, guys. I I don't I don't have any association with the Jackass series. I don't have any. I never watched it as a kid. I don't even. But somehow, even though I'm not even a fan of the series, somehow I felt nostalgia for the series without even having even seen any of the other movies. And so that's one of the things about this movie that was interesting was it sort of reminded you of a time where comedy was allowed to be comedy. It reminded you of a time where, comedy was something fun and innocent and you could do anything, and, as long as it gets a laugh from someone, then it's good. And, over the time, comedy has died. We don't have comedy anymore. We have PC comedy where, oh, I can't joke about that. I can't joke about that. Oh, we better watch out. We can't joke about that topic because we'll offend that group of people. Well, this movie did not care. And they made fun of everyone, everything, and it was funny for it. And it really shows that, the success of this movie, it shows that if they make more movies, not necessarily more Jackass movies, because I know that this is their last one, which is fine with me, because after seeing what they went through in this movie, they deserve to retire and just sit out on the porch and listen to, I don't know, 80s songs with their wives and shit. But they need to make more movies like this where they just do whatever they want, and they just joke and laugh about whatever they want, and then the audience will love it. And even if you have outrage from losers and weirdos, including people who have voices that are still cracking at age 23, people will love it and support it. And I think that if this movie was able to make me laugh, me, a non-Jackass fan, if this movie was able to make me laugh throughout the entire movie consistently, then it is really a really, really good movie because it was successful regardless of, like, with the first one I was like, ugh. But this I was like, I was laughing throughout the whole thing. There were some parts though where I got really like just I did want to throw up, but not really because it was gross, but because I just imagined like, oh, that has to be so painful. But still, it was funny. Somehow it was still funny. That was the surprising part, was that none of the jokes really bothered me at all. So I like this movie quite a bit. I don't really want to spoil anything because I think that would, with such a, I mean, this movie, it doesn't have a plot. It doesn't have characters, kinda. And okay, well, I guess I could talk about the characters. Uh, I liked all the characters, well, the quote unquote characters, the people. They're all very likable, and they don't take themselves too seriously, and they seem to, put everything they have into making the movie, which that's another thing is people don't do that anymore. They play everything too safe, too wimpy, and so you can tell when you watch the movie, you can tell, oh, they're playing it safe. They're not taking chances. Well, these people, they take chances. And regardless of if you find it funny or not, they take chances that you don't take. Other shit directors, shit writers, and shit actors, you don't take these chances. And so that's why your movies suck. And that's why Hollywood is now in the garbage can. Okay, I mean, this movie, I'm so shocked that Hollywood would even allow this movie to get released because of how raunchy and how funny it is. I wrote a script and I had an actor who complained and complained and said that I wrote like a raunchy raunch fest, and like they were like so grossed out because of like one scene in a 200-page story. And so, it's really cool that this movie was allowed to get released. I would say that my favorite character was probably Aaron, because he took the most in this movie. He really, he was basically the recipient of almost every single painful thing, and he really took it. I mean, I was shocked at how much he endured in this movie. But what I really loved was the fact that the whole movie, the announcer, Johnny Knoxville, he he didn't really receive any punishment the whole movie. But then at the very end, they did the they did the bull prank, and he got fucked up. And I thought that was the funniest part of the movie, because it was like, the whole movie he's avoiding getting any sort of punishment, and then right at the end it's like boom, he gets fucked up. That was the best part to me. Wait a second, I just spoiled that. Oh shit. Is that a spoiler? Okay, I guess I'll have to say this is a spoiler review. And my favorite joke, the funniest joke, I would say was probably one of the first jokes of the movie, because I wasn't expecting to really laugh at the movie. In fact, I was kind of expecting to not like it. But one of the first jokes was I can't remember, one of the guys was using his dick as a Godzilla puppet, and all of a sudden they brought out the snapping turtle, and he bit it, and I thought that was the funniest thing ever. It was so sudden, and they just bring it up and he goes, and I thought that was hilarious. That was my favorite joke by far. My least favorite joke, probably, I don't know. There were a couple in the middle near the end, kind of, that were like, they weren't funny at all to me, but still, I respected them. They were clever in concept, and they were well executed. So, I think that, though, that as long as the fans of the series love this movie, like all the fans, because whenever you say with any series, like let's take The Sopranos for instance, because that movie was such a piece of shit that Many Saints of Newark. I would literally, if Many Saints of Newark was a person, I would kill that person. Okay, that's how much I hated that movie. And with that, you had all these fanboys who said, if you don't like this movie, it's just because you're not a fan of the series. And, with movies like that, you can tell that, if all these people have to defend it and act like it's like a, World War III with a movie or a show, then it just shows how really bad that the movie or show is, because they have to do all that defending. And so with this movie, I really think that, all the fans who love the first and the second, they love the whole series, they're going to love this one. And that's the most important part, is that the fans of the series love it, because Hollywood is not about servicing the fans anymore. They're about servicing themselves and their shitty agendas. But with this series, it's one of the few series left that actually respected the fans. So, in terms of food, that is tough. In terms, I mean, this movie had a lot of balls. I mean, if you took a shot every time they showed a man's balls, you would die of alcohol poisoning. I mean, even in the end credits, they had like an army of balls. So I don't know, something to do with balls. Okay. No, no, that wouldn't be good. I really need to start coming up with food reviews before I do the actual reviews. It's just that when I talk, I get organic ideas that come to me, and they're a lot better than the ones I come up with beforehand. Well, I would say that I'm just gonna do some generic. You know what? Have you ever had cheese balls? I've never had cheese balls, but I know that fans of cheese balls really love cheese balls. So I give this movie a giant bowl of cheese balls. And, let's say that you're not much of a fan of cheese balls, but you just dive right in there and you try to eat the whole bowl of cheese balls. Well, obviously, you're not going to be able to eat the whole bowl because then you'll throw up and you'll be in a Jackass movie called I'm a Jackass Who Didn't Even Film the fucking throwing up. And so, but you still really enjoy having some cheese balls. And that's for me what this movie was that even though I'm not the biggest fan of the series, I really tried to enjoy it. And I did enjoy it. I enjoyed this movie. I might even watch it again. I mean, that's another thing is that I might watch it again. And that's something that I wasn't able to say with any of the other things that I've seen that are Jackass related. So overall, this was a good movie, and I highly recommend it to people, especially people who will like this type of humor, because it is nonstop laugh, 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 laugh. So please like this video, comment, and tell me what you thought of the movie. And then please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see any more movie reviews. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.